Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Clio Talk. My name is Matt,
And I am RC.
and we have an interesting episode for you today where we have some national news, local news, and general nonsense to talk about. But how was your day?
It's all right. It's
That-
all right.
That's all.
July 5th.
It is July 5th.
Partied all night yesterday, 4th of July.
Yeah. I was in St. Louis for the long weekend because I took Monday off because I was on a Tuesday, and apparently people think that going to work for one day, then not showing up Tuesday, and then starting the week again is like a appropriate way to use, whatever working hours.
You really are becoming a St. Louis guy, huh?
Well, I just have to my girlfriend's family's from St. Louis, so
Yes.
I'm going out there visiting that, and my St. Louis hate will be maintained. It has been explained to me that St. Louis considers their beef with Chicago, and even though they are not comparable to Chicago at all, and
It's kind of funny, actually.
yeah, and they never think about Kansas City at all. Kansas City is an afterthought, whereas
It kind of feels like to me like KU having a rivalry with Mizzou and Mizzou being like, actually, we're football rivals with Alabama. It's like, yeah, sure you are.
yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely rivals with Alabama. They definitely think about you all the time.
Yeah, if this was 1854, yes, St. Louis is definitely a Chicago rival. In 2023,
Got that sweet like 30 years of just population decline.
yeah.
You'll hit 1 million one of these years, guys. Don't worry.
Well, I'm sure if they combine, because I've been learning more and more about St. Louis. I'm sure if you combined the county with the city, it would be a bigger city, and because there's like St. Louis City, and there's a bunch of towns that broke off,
Yeah.
and the county government's separate, and there's a bunch of like small like old like 1920s suburbs all around.
Mm-hmm.
If they all joined in and formed one big city, which is possible because all the good stuff's on the Missouri side this time, unlike in Kansas City where like all of the wealthy suburbs were able to branch out across the state border.
I mean, don't like 20 people live on the Illinois side of St. Louis?
There are some people who live on the Illinois side of St. Louis, but from how it's been explained to me is no one ever thinks about St. Louis being a state border town, whereas also in Kansas City, that is or at least from my understanding, a near constant thought in which there's people who have chips on their shoulder about like the fact that Kansas exists or the fact that Missouri exists.
I mean, quite frankly, you got, the metro in Kansas City,
Yeah.
which includes Johnson County, which is almost as big as Jackson County, if not bigger.
I think Jackson County is more population.
It's pretty close, though. It's pretty close.
Yeah. Well,
So
so
it's just like, but point being is you have two counties that are similar populations on different sides of the state, all next to each other.
and one of which was a refuge for people to not contribute taxes to the actual city of Kansas City.
Yeah.
Which is an issue that St. Louis has, but like they have the ability of everyone's on the Missouri side. So if there was an actual push, they could force the money back into St. Louis city coffers.
Yeah. The
Whereas
governor can actually.
there's nothing Kansas City can do with like federalism to get any of the money that went to Johnson County back in the city, unless you somehow entice people to move out of Johnson County, move into the
We
city.
really need to do like a. Doesn't New York have that where they just have like a regional authority agreement between like New Jersey or something? They kind of have a little bit of a power. Am I crazy?
The Port Authority.
Yeah, something like that, where like they just standardize everything between them. I think we got something similar to that with KCATA, but it's basically toothless.
Well, but the Port Authority also runs like all of like the major like bridges and transportation
Yeah, I'm just
stuff.
saying the kind of unified and actually has things. We can build the World Trade Center. We can actually do things because all of our unified governments are basically just. Let's make a completely inept organization, but it's their job to do all this stuff. But they also have almost no authority.
Yeah, and you also need to crush the bi-state beef, basically, because, I mean, look at any related post to anything involving Kansas City, and you will eventually run into people who are just like, it's in Missouri, or someone posts about sporting Kansas City, and they'd be like, that's in, like, stupid Kansas or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, guys, it's all
Or
like
I got that a lot with like the Super Bowl where the Chiefs fans in Jackson County being like, oh, well, see, all the Johnson County fans aren't allowed because it's, we pay for everything. We're a Kansas team. Nah, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you guys, like, come on. Like, we live, it's like 20 minutes from the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really going to gatekeep people on the other half of Kansas City being fans of your team? It's just so dumb. But Missouri should have thought about that before they did Bleeding Kansas back in 1858.
Yeah,
they're the real instigators. I'm going to do the tribalism. There you go. Missouri's at fault.
No, we're not. We're not doing the tribalism.
Come on.
Tribalism's bad. All parts of Kansas City are special in their own little way. And
especially you, Gladstone.
Gladstone's in the corner staring with the dunce hat on right now. Because they are no longer keeping buses.
Has the city ever lost its charter before? Just like stopped existing?
I
become unincorporated?
I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, but Gladstone might deserve it. Because
they missed out on the annexation like hard.
I think they didn't want to be annexed. I think that's the whole deal. Is that's why they're so weird. If you're curious, there's the Northland, which Kansas City expands past the Missouri River into the Northland, but there is this one little gap of Gladstone, which kind of forms around the middle of this massive area of this big expansion of Kansas City in the north. Yeah. But Gladstone had just like everyone else, had a deal with the buses where you pay money towards the bus system to maintain with KCATA.
Yeah.
The original contract was for $87,000, but Gladstone is claiming this is no accusation. This is just a little conspiracy theory. It is now for renewing the buses, $340,000. I don't know how that increased so drastically, but the city of Gladstone's refusing to pay that and is not going to maintain buses anymore. Instead, they're going to use Iris, which is the Kansas City knockoff Uber that we're running through.
It's futuristic. It's the tech bro future. It's rideshare. It's more efficient. It's door-to-door service because
we're using like a knockoff Uber taxi service that drives a car.
Taxis.
Yeah, it's it's taxis.
You just call it taxi.
It's Z-Trip. They're using Z-Trip to put a little fancy livery on it that makes it look like it's a sponsored Kansas City product, which it is kind of.
We're giving money to a taxi company to provide taxi services.
And, taxis are cool. I'll give taxis credit. I just think that taxis should be a medallion regulated thing that you have a yellow sedan that you drive around and it looks normal. I don't think anyone should be allowed to just be a taxi driver off of an app.
Which I think, in fairness, I do believe Iris does that. I've seen them around, the Z-Trip ones. They do have Z-Trip branded vehicles. And I think Iris, I haven't seen Iris branded vehicles, but I have seen Z-Trip branded vehicles.
So it's a real taxi company.
Yeah, they do have branded vehicles that they drive. So I do think it's better than Uber in that regard. I do think they have employees and stuff. So people get health care. Yeah. They claim on the Right Casey website that they have the Iris branded cars, but I have seen the Z-Trip branded cars. So if that's a government affiliated program, then I guess it's better than Uber in that regard, as long as they're hourly employees and not, contractors.
Yeah. Man, I just wish that. Man, I'm just getting slightly back to the chip on the shoulder thing. I'm getting slightly jealous of St. Louis since they were able to build the actual Metro link. And
we need to have another LBJ style federal. How come? Why didn't we look? They were giving us free money. They built Atlanta, DC, and Baltimore or something, a subway system. I think Metrolink was made later, but how come they got a bunch of free money to build subways for all those towns, but we didn't get in on that? Because we could have our own little shitty 2-line subway.
The 60s in Kansas City was a very different time, and probably Baltimore, Atlanta, and DC looked like juicier prospects than just giving Kansas City a transit system.
Yeah.
Also, like that wasn't even 10 years removed from we dug up one of the largest streetcar networks in the country.
That's very fair. Yes, that is very fair. But yeah, we need to. I don't know what we have to, who we have to bribe or what to get a Metrolink in KC, but there's a lot of different options for like perfect subway line replacement areas.
Also, Metrolink complaint. Please just find a better way to do ticketing. It's really fucking stupid.
Yeah. What's your experience with the ticketing?
Well, I bought a ticket. You have to then validate the ticket, but there's like no like actual like things stopping you from just walking on.
Yeah, they're changing that. They installing the New York style. They're gonna make them. I've seen one like the New York style like things like the turnstiles and stuff, but they're gonna make them like prison fences. Yes.
Okay.
Like there's a couple of outdoor stations, and they're gonna make them like barbed wire, razor wire prison fences, so you can't just jump the fence. So you have to scan it on like the outdoor kiosks they're gonna install.
Also, Metrolink should run faster.
Yeah.
It's slow. But
Also, it should just go more places. It's just like two lines. Half of the lines overlap and go the same places. I don't think there's a north-south line.
Well, it accommodates north and south, but it then feeds into the city center, and then it goes out into East St. Louis and on the Illinois side.
Basically, we just need actual like MARTA or Metra style regional rail, and basically we just need more money for public transit in this country, in this state.
I think we as proud Kansas Cityans need to start buying up all the fireworks that are now on sale from the 5th of July sale and start digging holes in our backyards and blowing the tunnel to build a new subway system.
So tell you what, I mean, up to the airport, that's an obvious line right there. You just dig a subway up there, take it down to downtown, it links up with the streetcar right there. You get you don't even have to do the streetcar out to Truman. You get a subway going basically from Truman to downtown to the Legends over on the Kansas side. There you go. You call that like the sports line. You got it going through two major entertainment venues. You just have some stations along the residential areas around that side. You have the streetcar acting as the terminus, kind of going north-south. You could also have one going out to like the suburbs, have like a metro style regional rail, heavy rail.
We might sound like a broken record because I feel like we talked about this.
We talk about this all the time.
We do talk about this all the time.
Change. We need to just start writing the governors.
Writing to the Kansas City Star.
Yeah.
Also, I was told that from someone that we sound almost exactly the same to the untrained ear, so I'm sure
that's why we do the names at the beginning. I think my sister said something to that effect.
Yeah.
That's why we do the I'm RC and I'm Matt.
Yeah. So we probably just sound like one dude who has split personality disorder just yelling into a microphone about trains in Kansas City.
That's why I talk over you, so you can tell it's two people. Yeah.
Man.
We will write the space shuttle.
Oh my God! Don't
We're working on it.
the space shuttle.
We're working on it.
No, we're not.
Shh, we're working on it.
Oh my God! All right, man. But it would be really cool if we had something. But now we were just resorting to rideshare, which sucks.
I'm gonna make like one of those crayon subway maps. I'm gonna make one for the KC metro area, like a Chicago-style subway regional split. And I'm gonna make I already made the mayor retweet my the tweet we did about the old rail systems. I'm gonna make him retweet the subway map. She's like, let's get this going, guys. Let's get this ball rolling. Like if we can do like this $655 million repaving like 2 miles of highway, tell me we can't do $655 million to build 3 miles of subway and just do that every 5 years. Like I don't get why that, like the subway, at least you could collect fares, you could get some money out of it. The highway, it's just like, whatever. We are a broken record, aren't we?
Yeah. Brian Platt listened to our podcast and budget more money.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Come on.
Just start like a...
Stop cheating on your, I think, ex-wife now.
Just open up like a registry and let people donate to building a subway. Every dollar's one shovel. Just get us out there.
Just too many shovels.
Yeah.
But on a wider note, in the greater Midwest region,
You got to get a better segue on another broken. In a wider note, the better.
yeah,
Whatever.
more Midwest news, but in the upper Midwest, from the great state of Wisconsin, Governor Evers pulled a stunt with line vetoes, which allows him to veto single lines throughout a bill. He then used that to just go ahead and take that veto power to create a bill and reshape it so it provides school funding per student per year for 400 years.
Yeah. Basically, the Republican legislature was doing funding, basically, passing regular legislation, funding schools, whatever. But they had a sunset on their funding. It was going to be for the 2024 to 2025. It was going to be a $325 increase per student. And that was it. It was just like, we're going to increase this 1 year, and then that's it. And then probably do what we're doing like here, where let's just cut money or whatever. Let's privatize school vouchers, whatever, because you got to make kids get homeschooled so they do creationism or whatever. I'm on Twitter too much. Anyways, but so what he did is the sentence was, for the limit for the 2023-2024 or 24 school year and the 2024-25 school year, add 325 to the result under Part B, paragraph B. What he did was he said, for the limit for veto the word the. So it's 2023 veto the 24 school year and the 20. So it's 2023-24, get rid of the other dash, 2023-2425, comma, add 325 to the result. So it's, instead of 2023-2024, it now says 2023 to 2425.
Add 325 to the result under paragraph B per year, basically.
Yes,
So,
and line item, he signed the bill, but he was able to veto parts of it he didn't like. In order for them to overwrite it, they need a 2/3 majority, which they do not have. Or they need to sue and go to the Supreme Court, which is majority Democratic. So, and it is legislation that was passed, and he has the authority to line item veto. So, unless we're doing the Supreme Court, where we do what we think that the person intended instead of what the law actually says, like in regards to student loans, where the law says something, but we don't think that they meant that when they passed it. So we're going to actually revoke the student loan forgiveness because we don't feel like they meant that you were able to forgive, even though it says that you can modify, but we're just going to ignore that.
But the thing is that everyone who wrote this bill is alive. There's no interpretation over like what like James Madison would feel about this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And
James Madison didn't even know Wisconsin existed.
No, I'm talking just straight up about that student loan case.
Oh.
It kind of irks me because I read the law before the Supreme Court decided not to allow the student loan forgiveness plan, and it explicitly says under national emergency, everybody in the national emergency zone, student loan. It's specifically about like student loans and payment or whatever. It's like anybody in a national emergency zone, the Department of Education has the ability to modify or waive any part of the student loan stuff that they want to, i.e. 9/11 victims can get their student loans forgiven or whatever, HEROES Act, all that kind of stuff, Katrina, or COVID-19 pandemic, because the entire country was declared a national emergency zone. And the Supreme Court decided, no, actually, they didn't mean for you to be able to forgive everybody's loans, even though Trump put a national emergency over the entire country, so thereby everybody is eligible for it, so thereby they modified everybody's thing, which is what the law says. If you're in the area of a national emergency, your loans can be modified at the behest of the Secretary of Education. No legislation needed. Congress passed that. Bush signed it into law. 2002. That's it. That's what it says. But the Supreme Court decided, nah, actually, that's not what they wanted, even though that's what they said.
Bush is still alive. You go ask Bush.
All the guys who signed it are still. I mean, that's just what I. That HEROES Act thing. It's like that's just what they passed. I thought that the letter of the text of the law is what matters, not the intent, right? It's what was explicitly written and what they were dealing with at the time. And it's like, look, everybody. I'm going off on a tangent here because this pisses me off because everybody's in a national emergency zone. Everybody's affected by COVID. It's not an illegitimate thing. And a Republican passed the national emergency that did everybody. And the law says Department of Education can modify it. Bipartisan law passed like 93-7 in the Senate. Almost completely unanimous. Bush signed it into law. Trump did the national emergency. Then the Department of Education now uses that law, and all of a sudden it's like, no, they didn't mean for it to forgive that, even though that's what it fucking says. Anyways, line item veto. They're allowed to line item veto. That's just, so that was a complete
Can we
tangent.
line item veto the National Supreme Court?
Uh,
John Marshall and the mistakes of
no, you know what? I genuinely, if we have like a 51 vote majority, I say we pass a law saying judicial review does not exist. Okay, because then what's going to happen? Someone's going to sue. Supreme Court reviews it. Sorry, actually, it's illegal. You don't have the ability to judicial review. Where does it say that in the Constitution? Just call John Marshall's bluff. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to abolish the Supreme Court. Just somebody needs to get like a 52 vote majority in the Senate and just call John Marshall's bluff, pass a law saying it's illegal to do judicial review.
I just really like how
it's not in the Constitution.
I really like
the
how
founders didn't intend for it.
I like how one dude just like BS'd his way into creating an actual like institution.
And if you just pass a law, then it's like, well, the Supreme Court rules against this. Well, yeah, but see, we, the Congress, and the president signed this, passed a law saying you can't do that. So thereby you can't do that. Sorry.
All of you need to go on your circuit tours.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Got to go ride circuit again. There's a reason they're called that. Also, there's 13 circuit courts now. So sorry. Some of you guys got to do double duty. John Roberts, you're the chief. You got to go run 4 circuits, buddy. No cars. You got to do horses. We're riding a horse out to California, baby. Ninth Circuit.
Make everyone like in the federal government just live like exactly how the Constitution is written.
I can't get over because that's the whole textualist argument, right? Is it's not what they intended. They, they didn't intend for. It doesn't matter that machine guns weren't invented yet, right? It's just what the text says. The text says laws. The text says guns. So thereby any gun. It doesn't matter what they would have intended. It doesn't matter what would have existed at the time. It's just the textualist argument, which is supposed to be the conservative argument, which like Clarence Thomas, those guys follow. The textualist argument for that. Thereby, the law that was passed in 2002, the text of it says one thing, but then they took the intent approach, which is the complete opposite side, where all of them actually believe in 99% of other cases. They just took the complete other side of instead trying to decipher intent, which is generally what the more progressive side does, which is, well, the Second Amendment says this, but what did they actually mean? They just meant muskets and stuff. They just meant, that's just what I don't get, is it's just like a complete flip-flop of how they actually normally rule cases for this one case that would have actually been good for people.
Where they're obviously being partisan.
Yeah, and it's just like, this is clearly not like the whole textualist thing is just like, well, we're not biased. We're just doing what the law is written. And it's like, well, the fucking law said the Department of Education. Because everybody's doing this like it's like a fucking executive order, where it's like, oh, well, Biden, you can't do $430 billion of student loan by executive fiat. And it's like, no, it's a fucking law. It was passed bipartisanly. Like, sorry, it's just like we're doing the law. Like you know what I mean? It's like saying the PPP loans. It's like, well, even though they say they can be forgiven in the law that was passed, we don't think that they meant that. So all you guys got to pay those back. It's like, well, you didn't see that. Those got forgiven immediately, despite the fact that it's the same set of categories where they passed the law and those things were able to be forgiven by the law. No one sued for that. No one had any problems with that. Fucking Ocean Gate guy who killed 5 people in a sub got a $400,000 PPP loan.
You also got a multi-million-dollar search to find his corpse.
Yeah, this is going off the rails, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just
dude, I was texting a friend about this, right? Like, I feel like we're at a boiling point, but I felt like we've been at a boiling point for a couple of years now. And I don't know when it's going to boil over, but honestly, it's just like, hey, do you want consumer spending to go down? Because if you're all concerned about the economy, I feel like having a bunch of people who don't have to contribute a bunch of money towards paying off because Missouri invested in something stupid.
It's just like, it can't be more obvious that they're trying to just not let people. How are you supposed to afford a mortgage when you have an accruing interest loan that you took out at 17 because your parents told you to, because that's how you get a job. Jobs all now require degrees anyways. So all the fucking trade union people, everybody's a plumber. Plumbing all of a sudden doesn't pay that good because everybody knows how to plumb. You know, your job where you're fucking plug in a spreadsheet needs a 4-year degree. We don't care what, you just need a 4-year degree. So you have to go to college to get that job if you don't work at McDonald's or whatever, where they won't raise the minimum wage. So, you know, you got to get the college degree. And everybody's like, well, why should Jim Farmer pay for your student loans? And it's like, because literally every job that
we contribute to society.
Every job that isn't paying. Hi, Joe. I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing.
Yeah,
she wants out. But every job that isn't just farming, you know, if I don't have the money to buy an acreage and start farming and get those federal subsidies, I have to get a degree, because if I want to work in an office, I have to get a degree. If you want to work in most, basically, it's like they won't raise the minimum wage, so jobless, you know, degreeless jobs won't pay like a decent amount. They're not required to. The minimum wage is still $7. So any job that pays more than $7, you have to get a, you know, degree for. And everything's more expensive because you can't buy a house, because houses all cost like an arm and a fucking leg. So if you want to afford a house, you have to get a job that requires a degree. But to get a degree, you have to go into like 10,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt to be able to buy that house, that then makes you not have to rent and, you know, deal with the fucking insane rental market right now. It's just like, how the fuck do you think people are going to exist? You know, you want to not pay insane rents? Well, get a house. You want to get a house? Well, don't have student loan debt. Well, you want a job that allows you to not have student loan debt? Well, die.
And also the insane thing is, I mean, like if you need a car, the average car payment is now sitting at about $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I saw that.
So even if you have a generic office job that's paying above the median American wage, even after, you know, taxes are important, but even after taxes, if everything that is major, like living and getting yourself to work, is a multi-$1,000 purchase, how are you going to also make that work with also student loan payments and also, you know, like you can't tell me to budget more when clearly, like,
have you considered not buying avocado toast, Matt?
Oh yeah, no.
Consider not buying coffee. Have you considered just eating white rice and nothing else for your entire adult life until you're able to retire? Maybe. Like, just don't spend any money on food. Never go out to eat. Never go see a movie. Never purchase any books. Don't buy gas for your car. Never go on vacation. And then you won't have student loan debt.
But if everyone does that, what's going to happen?
Fuck, I forgot. We need people to buy things for the economy to work.
Yeah.
'Cause shit, if no one's going out to eat, then all of a sudden all the waiters are out of jobs. And if no one's buying products, all of a sudden, if no one can buy a new iPhone, Apple all of a sudden is out of business. And that shit.
Man,
I forgot that we need consumer spending for the economy to work. Damn. That doesn't seem like it works with our current setup.
Yeah, morons on Twitter who post the like stupid like cartoon of you took a loan, pay it back. Wouldn't it be? It would be a lot better for the economy if the people who have already been spending in the economy, which had kept us out of a recession for the past 3 years, because everyone's particularly predicting a recession. Oh wait, what happens when young people have money? Oh, they spend it in the economy.
You need to be able to afford a car loan to buy a car from the dealership that those people probably run. Fuck, I forgot. No one can afford a car anymore. Damn, too bad.
Damn. Yeah. What was the point? What's the point of living?
Damn, we really are a doomer podcast.
We're getting into doomer mode. Where are we at?
We can do longer. We got to do longer than 30 minutes. We've been doing 30-minute little quick bites. You got to do one like honker. We let the people go a whole week without us.
Yeah, we did skip last week because we were
doomerism. Well, Oppenheimer and Barbie are coming out.
They are, and we are going to be doing more Missouri posting. I think we need to scale up our Missouri posting deal. We're going to experience the great state of Missouri on a fun venture sometime soon.
Yes.
But I was listening to sports radio.
Oh God, which one?
I don't. 610, I think.
Okay, the baseball one.
The baseball one. And they were talking about a theory which I am now taking with me. So I'm ripping this off of 610 Sports from like a week ago.
I'm interested to hear this.
So they think that John Sherman and the Royals are being heavily pressured into basically falling on the sword by pushing for the downtown stadium because they know it's going to be unpopular. But another team, this is all hypothetical, not confirmed, another team that shares the complex with Kauffman Stadium wants the space so they can have more room to expand and potentially just build a new stadium right next to the old stadium where a baseball stadium does exist.
So the Chiefs want the space.
The Chiefs want
so they don't have to build in the Legends.
Yeah, and they can literally just tear down Kauffman and build the new stadium right where Kauffman is, and then keep Arrowhead open for the entire time until it's open. And then use the space Arrowhead was in as like a new like sports entertainment district.
That'll be the day.
So that is the theory I was hearing proposed on sports radio. Granted, sports radio are not like they're not that smart.
I mean,
but they are.
They're definitely more plugged into sports than we are.
They are. And I thought it was just an interesting thing to think that, well, the Royals suck right now.
Oh, God, yes.
But
they passed the A's, though. They're
did.
not the worst team in baseball anymore for now.
Yeah. Well, because the A's have just been getting their asses handed to them by the Yankees.
Yeah. The Royals beat the Dodgers. I think they won the series 2 games.
Yeah. But that... they're taking the pressure because John Sherman wants the downtown stadium.
Yeah,
but
they don't seem to have a location though. It's like,
but I think the reason they're pushing as hard as they're pushing right now, and they want to get it done as soon as possible, is because the Chiefs want the space.
That would make sense. I guess a little bit why the desperation.
The ideas align, but I think the pressure from a different organization right across the street in the Truman Sports Complex has hit them hard and is making them really push to get it done.
Because I think the Chiefs know it's an option to move to Kansas, to move to the Legends, because it is a ready-made entertainment district that has a large amount of land out like on the west side of it that is suspiciously unoccupied. That would be the perfect size for a football stadium and parking lot. I think they know that that's an option, but I don't think they want to leave that area because all their stuff is there, the training facilities there, all the infrastructure's there.
Yeah.
I do think I had heard another conspiracy theory on 810 radio, which is another sports radio station, where they're saying they think that also in addition to all that, there's like issues with the foundations, like fundamentally, like the stadiums are kind of like, we can only really like refurbish this so much.
I heard
they're both from like the 60s.
I heard something on that on 610 where they were saying that they've done a good job on Kauffman for the like front presenting stuff, but when it comes to actual facilities on the inside, they're lagging behind every other major league team.
So at the end of the day, both stadiums are 60 years old.
Yeah,
and I mean they're great stadiums. I think the big issue the Royals have that I think we've already said is that they suck ass and they're asking for $1 billion stadium and probably $700 million of public money, and they don't even have like a location. Like it seems like they've done it seems like any other team, like the Raiders, right? They moved to Las Vegas. They were like, we're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, and here's where we're going to put our stadium. Here's what it's going to look like. Here's all the infrastructure. Like we have the plan done. We just need the Vegas voters to approve of it. But John Sherman, it seems like he's like, I want a downtown stadium. I don't know where. I don't know what it'll look like. I don't know what the infrastructure will be. I want to move it.
I feel like I would accept like a downtown stadium with some pretty strong stipulations that need to be maintained.
Yeah.
One, no parking, no extra parking. You get what you get. No highway expansion.
Payroll minimums for the team.
Record minimums. And if you don't meet those records within like an X amount of years, you owe the city the money that you took from them.
Because if you want to keep the team here, which I don't know if he wants to keep the team here, but it's our team.
Yeah,
it's always been in Kansas City. if we're going to be forking over a lot of money, I feel like instead of us giving them tax breaks, we really need to be like, here, you got to have a payroll of at least like $100 million, like at least $100 million. Our payroll right now is like 77.
Well, and but that's where the record thing also comes in handy.
Yeah.
I don't want him buying a bunch of like 35-year-old just shitty players to meet the payroll minimum, so he has big names but doesn't do anything. He needs
Yeah,
to
you got to have a higher, you're being generous, at least 0.3.
Yeah.
At least 0.3. There you go. Like at least win a third of the game, or a third of the games in the season.
Yeah.
We don't even have that. We're like 0.27 right now. I think it's baseball. It's like the win percentage or whatever. We're like 0.27, at least 0.3. That's not even like that high. Just win. Don't even have 100. And
but if you end the series or end the season below 0.3, you owe X amount of percentage back to the city.
Yeah.
And also, the one final stipulation that I feel like is a hard, must be maintained is ticket price ceilings for certain areas and food price ceilings that make it feasible and affordable for people to go.
Yeah.
I feel like domestic beer should be capped at $3.50. Weird fancy beer should be capped at $5. A hot dog should be $3.
I mean, look, if like, I don't remember what team it is, but there's a team, I believe, in baseball that isn't particularly good, but they do have the fan prices. It might be the A's. I don't think it's the A's. Maybe the Phillies or something, where they do price it like that, where they have really reasonable prices. They do make money on the concessions, but, I mean, it's like $7 for like a 16-ounce soda, It's like, come on, guys, I can get that for $1 at Quick Trip. Like, you're clearly making like hand over fist money at this. You're gouging us when you're not even winning. I mean, it's fucking July and they haven't even won 30 games yet. Like, are you kidding me? And you're going to charge me like $8 for a hamburger?
And with those caps on prices, that's also an extra encouragement, because the only way you're actually going to turn a major concession profit is if you're bringing in people to sit in those seats.
Yeah. I think we need
and all of those must be met. Unless they build somewhere else where they destroy some housing, then the same rule that I've been preaching from the beginning, which is for every housing unit you take back, you destroy, you need to replace twofold, one of which needs to be affordable.
Yeah. And not like senior living affordable, because that's like the loophole. Just actually build like a reasonable studio, one-bedroom apartment.
It has to be affordable, and you have to replace 2 for 1.
I think you can have the parking, just have it be like, like some for like the players' staff or whatever, but just like make it be underground. Just build a Minneapolis-style underground lot for your baseball stadium. You can have like maybe 2 rows. Like you want the VIP. Like if Mahomes goes to a game, he wants to park, whatever. Yeah. But like, there should be no reason for people to drive. They should be able to drive, park in downtown, take the streetcar. That's why we have it. Just take public transit.
And your design has to include a station for the streetcar.
Yeah, I don't know why the airport didn't. I know it's never going to expand out there, but it's like, come on, guys, let's plan for the rail.
We've both been to Target Field nearby. I've been in Target Field, and that station was one of the greatest transit experiences I've had in the Midwest, because I literally got out of like a nice, like relatively new streetcar system, walked in, scanned my ticket, got into the game.
Mm-hmm. Where's the baseball stadium? I went to Arrowhead a couple weeks ago. There's no game. There's no baseball game. There's no anything.
Yeah.
Man, it's a fucking wasteland. That parking lot, it's just like, it's like 4 acres of just nothing but concrete. And when there's nothing going on, like there's no concert, there's no anything, it's just like, man, this is such a waste. It's so big for no real reason. And it's like, okay, it's going to be full 18 times per year for football, and like 70 times per year for baseball, and then the whole spring.
And occasionally Taylor Swift will come to town, like she's coming this weekend with Friday and Saturday. Yeah. They're trying to shut down have you heard about the tailgate deal?
I have not.
So she's playing Friday and Saturday.
She's doing 2 shows here?
She does 2 shows in every city, apparently. That's how it was explained to me. She does 2 shows in every city, but they're trying to shut down, especially for Arrowhead, people doing the sitting out in the parking lot and listening to it for free thing.
I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's dumb.
It is dumb, but also it makes sense because you don't want like literally more people than what the parking lot could hold.
I guess that makes sense.
And then clogging up the highway and then literally filling every single road in order to attempt to hear it.
I think that you should have that happen because then it'll make people realize, wow, the highways really don't work, huh?
Yeah.
When you have a massive amount of people, it really doesn't. I think we should have more of just absolute gridlock just to kind of get people to realize, hey, maybe we do need a subway here.
Yeah.
Maybe we do need something here. Like, we can't even handle one concert.
Well, we can't.
Wow, the World Cup's going to be here in 2 years.
Oh,
Wow.
God. Oh,
Maybe we should do something about
Taylor
that.
Swift is going to be a dry run for that World Cup game. That's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the pictures.
Yeah, don't worry, charter buses.
Yeah.
It's going to look like that highway out in, like, Cairo, next to the ocean.
Yeah.
Or the Mediterranean, where it's, like, just completely choked up. It's like, don't worry, we built a 10-lane highway. Completely full.
Yeah. I think also with Taylor Swift, because of all like the people like with the situations, I feel like she should have done a thing where they build a stage in the middle of fucking nowhere where there's like 1 million acres and like build like a massive like multi-mile cordoned off area.
Just do Woodstock.
Yeah, do Woodstock, and the Eras Tour is at this random location in South Dakota.
Doing it like what's that one in the desert? Burning Man.
Burning Man.
Just like, yeah, we're doing Taylor Swift Burning Man.
We show up.
You got to make the pilgrimage like to Mecca. You know,
I'm
going
gonna-
to Taylor Swift.
I'm gonna play once in this big ass field. It's like 3 or 5 miles is cordoned off. There will be speakers. There will be jumbotrons. You will be able to see me in some way, but there'll be a certain point.
There will be LSD provided.
We're not endorsing LSD. You might not be, if you show up late, you might not be able to like see me with your actual own naked eyes. But I will be performing in one massive field where you can all show up.
That would be fun. We need to do more like things like that. Just weird. Have you seen that Sphere in Las Vegas, by the way?
What
The Sphere?
is it like the suicide vessel in Manhattan?
No, it's the Sphere.
Oh,
It's the I think it's a concert venue. I saw it under construction while I was there. It's a concert venue that's shaped like a sphere, and the entire exterior is LED screens, so it's able to project. Like, you can have Taylor Swift in it, and it'll be like projecting like images of Taylor Swift outside of it or whatever. It's really wacky.
if Vegas is a weird town, man.
It's like the Dubai of America, right?
Dubai, but funded through gambling money.
Yeah, look, that's all the LCD. It's got like 10,000 LCD screens on it, so it's able to project like an image and stuff. I saw it was under construction last time I was in
God,
Vegas.
imagine how stressful it is looking at the plan and be like, number 2047 screen just failed. Can someone go climb up
At
that
the top, you got to get a scaffold.
No, it's at the middle where it starts curving. And you have to like rappel down with like a little one just
Yeah.
change out, and you're in like the hot Las Vegas sun.
That would be fun. No, it's I think it's a concert venue or a basketball stadium or something.
Is it connected to a casino or something?
It's connected to, I believe, the monorail.
It's
It's
connected
kind
to
of
the
in the middle
Venetian.
of nowhere. We were at a bar right here on Koval or whatever. It was like a really old timey bar. Yeah, it's connected to the monorail. It's right there, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's next to a golf course. I think.
Man, I've never been, and I kind of want to go to Vegas. I'm not a gambler. I don't like, not a big heavy drinker either. But
I've been there twice, right?
Yeah.
I've gone there both times with my fiance's family. I don't gamble. I do drink. I don't gamble though. It was a lot of fun just walking around. We saw a show. It's just kind of fun. You know, it's like 11:30. You get one of those like slushy cocktails or whatever, and you just walk around. It's as busy as if it's noon. It's just kind of an interesting experience because it's always warm.
I mean, I'll have like a beer or two, but I don't feel like getting like fucked up in a city that's designed to steal your money.
Oh no, I mean I didn't get like fucked up, but you can. I mean, like all the casinos, you can just walk in, so you can literally just walk the entire strip and just, oh, that's an interesting building. Let's just go in there. I go Caesars. You don't need a membership. You just walk in. So it's kind of like the perfect touristy thing. Is if you see something interesting, you can just walk in.
But it's like an affront to God, though. Like, it's not supposed to exist.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you could tell when you're there and you step out and your eyes immediately dry out that it's like, oh my god, why are we here? But here, I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna show the podcast listeners because I don't want to dox myself. But we stayed right. Where are we? I'm looking at the strip right now. We stayed right here. It's connected to Planet Hollywood. It's the It's the.
You said you're not going to dox yourself, and then you started doing.
It's the hotel right here on next to the Planet Hollywood.
Mhm.
So you're able to go through Planet Hollywood, but all the casinos are connected, so you can just walk through up here and stuff to Paris and stuff. But we were walking up the Strip. You know, you can watch the Bellagio. You can go into Paris. There's the Eiffel Tower right there. You know, and you just keep walking up and. They've got like up here the volcano that does like hourly shows. It's fun walking around because I don't gamble. I just drink a little bit. I don't drink very heavily, but you know, you're in Vegas, you get a little. You know, you go to Taco Bell Cantina, you get like a tequila Baja Blast. You know, you're having a good time. But they do have a monorail. I rode once. But yeah, there's the Sphere in context of where I was. So we went to the bar right over here somewhere, I think. It's like an Italian joint. It was pretty good. But yeah, the Sphere, it's interesting. It's like the first piece of American architecture. I know it's like just like a gimmick where it's just like a big LED ball, but it's like, you know, I was looking at it and it's like, that's kind of cool. Like, it's cool that we were able to build that in America. That's the first thing in a while where it's like, that's kind of cool. I've never seen anything like that. And it's kind of cool that we can have that here. Like, that's something you would normally see in Dubai. It's just like a piece of like, here we got way too much money and we're going to build like the Burj Khalifa, just some random piece of architecture that's completely unnecessary and wasteful, but we're able to do it. And it's like, yeah, the Las Vegas Sphere is kind of like that, where it's like it's completely wasteful. I don't know what purpose it serves, but it's cool that we can do it. That's how I'm feeling.
Another thing I want to talk about. We're close to 6 months to the New Kansas City airport being open. And as a person who has done a few pickups there now,
yes, I've flown out of it.
You've flown out of it? Yeah.
And into it, yes.
I'm going to say everyone who's still thinking that it works the same way is dumb. Use a cell phone lot or pay the like $1 or $3, whatever it is.
I think it's $1 for. I think it's up to a half hour is free. Half hour to an hour is $1, and then everything after that is like $5 per. I think.
Oh,
so if you're there for 2 hours, it's like $10.
Well, I've only parked in the parking garage every single time. I think I've paid like $3 a few times to just pick fuel up. But I think it's way easier and it's nice to just go in. And honestly, that's easier because they have the lights that you can see. People who are still complaining about the airport are dumb. Use the cell phone lot or park in the parking garage. It's not hard. They have signs. Stop clogging up the traffic. It's really annoying. I want to get to park in the parking garage, and you guys are too stupid to know how an airport works.
This has been a public announcement by Clio History.
Yep.
Use the freaking parking lot. Genuinely, I had my dad pick me up at the airport a couple months ago. Not a problem. There was somebody just parked there's like a line pulling up where you pick up on the curb. There's somebody just parked in like the middle of it. Like, not even on the curb, just in the middle of the second lane. And it's like, you're the reason that we have traffic because you are parked in the middle of the road and you are not in your car. What are you doing? Like,
if you want to park in the parking garage. It's not that bad.
Because I think we talked about this before, but for anybody that hasn't listened, it's the first episode they're listening to. The old KCI was great. It was built in the 70s. It was great until 9/11. You could just pull up on the curb, walk in. It was literally 100 feet from the curb to the gate. There you go. But then once they added security, it didn't really work. Really long lines, too cramped, not enough space. But the KCI, it was still designed for you to basically just pull up on the curb. It was a big circle, so everybody was used to just parking on the curb or, you know, just sitting there and waiting for people to come out because there was the space for it. It wasn't that crowded. But with the new one, they don't have the space. It's not two distinct terminals with gigantic drive-thrus because the idea is to pull up, wait for the person to get in. Now it's a regular airport where you wait, then you pull up, and then you get in immediately when you pull up, and then you leave. But just the KC people haven't gotten used to that yet. And they're just complaining about the traffic. And like, we need more lanes. And it's like, no, you just need to learn how to use a freaking airport. Just go somewhere.
Use the parking garage.
It's identical to the one in Las Vegas. It's identical to the one in Las Vegas. It's both the two-story approach where it's like the drop-off and the pick-off are on 2 stories. They literally just copy the Las Vegas airport. It's the exact same design. of the pickup lanes.
Huh.
It's the exact same design. And Las Vegas, no problem. Way more people, way more traffic, way more tourists, no problem. Kansas City is not unique. They don't have like some unique issue. It's just a lot of the locals are stupid. So, also, we don't have like a bus line. Well, we do have a bus line. We don't have like a streetcar line or something. Anyways, I saw you looking at it. We're almost at 50 minutes.
You were going to drag this out for another 10 minutes to get to an hour, or do you think
I think 50 minutes is good. An hour is intimidating. 50 minutes, that's a breeze.
All right. Well, this has been Clio Talk. My name is Matt.
And I'm RC.
And you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Clio History. You can email us at cliohistorypodcast@gmail.com. If you send us a message saying that we sound alike, like the few people who have, you're dumb. We know that.
We don't sound anything alike.
Anyway. Yeah, so go ahead and leave us a review. Share us if you'd like. And yeah. That really helps us out in the algorithms and such if you do reviews and share and such. So anyway, yeah, that's been it. Bye.
Bye.